Hello again. Welcome. This is Jordan Stevens here for another edition of the Book Knowledge Share. Thank you so much for being here. I'm really happy you are here for another week of book knowledge sharing. And basically every week I come on here, let you know a little bit about a recent book that I've read, and I share some tips and tricks that I picked up. I'm not going to be reviewing the books. I never really try to say whether it's a good book or a bad book. You can determine that on your own by reading it. I want to encourage you to read a little bit more. So I'm going to give you the hit list, going to tell you a little bit about what the book is, tell you a little bit about the author, tell you about the key things that I picked up in the book, and hopefully you'll go out and check out the book for yourself. So this week, really excited to share with you another book on collaboration. If you've seen some of my videos in the past, I've talked a little bit about collaboration. This year, for me, is the year of collaboration. So, a book on collaboration again this week. This time covering a book called Radical Collaboration. And in the book, written by two consultants. One is James W. Tamm. He is a former judge. He started up his own consultancy. And really this book talks about collaborating and how to get parties to agree to different agreements. Not collaboration in the traditional sense where you're thinking about how to, build a team. Yeah, there's some of it, but this book really talks about negotiation and how to collaborate and get different parties to work together on how to make something better. For example, say you're trying to sell your house. How do you get, two different parties to agree to an agreement? How do you get them to work on creative and collaborative solution? So James W. Tamm, he's a judge, and as you can see, there's some reasons why he has written this book. As well as his partner, I don't know if his partner in business, but another person who is part of his consultancy. His name is Ronald Luyet, Luyet, L-U-Y-E-T, and I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. So he's another one. He's the VP of training over at that consultancy. And so let me dig into the book. Here's some big things. There were quite a lot of information in this book, and there's quite a lot of really interesting little tidbits that I picked up throughout it. The first thing I want to go over, and I've talked about this before, and behavior is a choice. You have a choice in how to react to different things that are going on in your life, different things that are happening. You have a choice. And you need to remember that whenever you are reacting, whenever you are out there behaving, whatever you're doing, you have a choice in how to respond to stimuli. So always remember that. Now, there are 5 key essentials to building collaboration, which I picked up from this book. The first is the intention to collaborate. You have to have an intention to collaborate. You have to actually want to collaborate with the other party. The second thing, and I think this is a big thing, something that we miss a lot in our work, and this is truthfulness. We need to be truthful with ourselves. We need to be truthful with others around us as well. And so this is really key. There's a great book called The Speed of Truth. I believe that's the name of the book. Anyway, if you trust someone else and you're working in a team and you know they're going to tell you the truth, you don't have to go check in on them. You don't have to go check their work all the time. You know they're providing the best work for you that they can, and that the documents that they're providing to you are truthful, and that the language and the way that they talk to you is based in truth. And so it really speeds things up. So I think that's a really key thing to remember. The third thing for collaboration is self-accountability. So you got to be accountable to yourself, creating really great value, and also make sure that you are accountable to the goals that you have set for yourself. The fourth thing is, in combined with that third thing, is to be aware of yourself. Be aware of yourself and the way you behave and how you help others and how you tear down others. You have to be aware of the positives and the negatives of yourself so that you can modulate your behavior a little bit. The fifth thing and final thing is to problem solve. You need to really problem solve. You have to work together with others to come up with creative solutions in order to collaborate really, really well. So with that in mind, I want to dig in a little bit further into what I got out of this book. The next thing that I thought was really key and quite important that I got out of this is that you don't want to be rigid in your assumptions. So however you're assuming the other party, whatever you're thinking the other party is doing, don't assume that you have the correct answer. Try to dig into it. Ask questions. Questions are really, really cool. And so I think you should dig into it a little bit more by asking questions of yourself and of others. The next thing, as we talked about this truthfulness, is that whenever you're delivering a message, whenever you're delivering a thought or an idea to someone else, or critique or feedback or whatever that happens to be, whatever your message is, it needs to be congruent with your body language. So if you're looking like this, but your message is like, we're doing really, really well. We have a great thing going on, and our profits are up, our margins are better, and, we're doing really, really well. If somebody said that, you wouldn't believe the message. That message that I put out there was a really positive thing, but if you look at my body language, I'm like, closed. I got a low tone of voice. I don't sound energized. And so whenever your message isn't congruent with your body language, people won't believe that message that you're putting out. So if you got a positive message, make sure you watch your body language. Give yourself an open body language. Speak with energy, and you'll do just fine. Another thing that I really got out of this book, and I thought this was a really cool idea, is to share first truth first. So if you're nervous about telling somebody something, that's your first truth. You may go to somebody saying, you know what, I feel really nervous bringing this up to you. However, your breath stinks. Whatever it is. But the idea is to, if there's something holding you back for delivering that message, that's your first truth. You should bring out that first truth first, because that really helps to lighten the mood a little bit and softens the blow just a little bit. So to let people know that you have inside, feelings and whatever thing going on inside you that's making it challenging for you to deliver that message. Okay, so moving on, a couple more things that I got. I know I want to keep these videos short for you, but there's a lot of really cool stuff that came out of this book. So a couple more things going on. One of the things that we tend to forget is that listening is very, very important when we're collaborating and when we're working with others. We need to really listen. So there are some things to watch out for in terms of listening. And make sure you realize that listening isn't a sport. It's not a competition. So the first thing, don't prepare a response. Listen to that person really intently and make sure that you're not preparing a response. The next thing is to pay attention to more than just the words coming out. Look at their body language. Look at how they're reacting to things. Look at how things are going on outside of the actual words coming out of the person's mouth. Are they excited? Are their eyes open? Are they smiling? Look at their body language. Look at the keys to understanding what the real message is behind the message. Remember, we just talked about congruency of our message, right, and our body language. So that's really, really key to listening, to make sure that we really understand the message that we're trying to understand. We have to also understand the body language that's happening throughout it. Another thing that's really important when we're listening is to make sure that you address uncomfortable emotion. If there's something uncomfortable, make sure you address them. Okay, so almost done. Couple more things that I really want to point out. One of them is to remember that the key to getting along with others is being flexible in 3 different areas. One of them is inclusion. Do you tend to include people in groups and messages? The second thing is control. Do you tend to control or let others control? And the last thing is openness. Are you open to new ideas? Are you closed to new ideas? And you want to be flexible in those areas because different people have natural tendencies within those 3 different variables in terms of how they behave naturally. And so you want to be flexible so that you can work with others really, really collaboratively and cooperatively by being flexible in those 3 areas. So somebody, for example, wants to be included in conversations, then you should make sure that you include them in different meetings. So that's just one example. And you'll want to follow that for the top 3 things: inclusion, control, and as well, openness. Okay, I want to finish off with one final thing. And this is everything we do and everything we don't do sends a message. So be really, really careful about the things that you do, but also be really careful about the things that you don't do. There you go, guys and girls. Radical collaboration. If you want some more interesting insights about how to work better with others, how to work with a team, and also how to work through negotiation, tough negotiation. This was a really interesting book from those perspectives. So go check it out. In the meantime, until we get another book knowledge share next week, I want you to jump in the comments. Let me know what you think. If you read the book, let me know what you think of the book. If you didn't read the book, let me know what books you want me to talk about in the future. And as well, don't forget to subscribe and like the video. All right, until next week, thank you so much. This is Jordan signing off. Take care.